get ready with me while I talk about easy manifestation, or how manifestation can be easy. So I want to talk about the time that I first ever consciously manifested something, and I manifested $5. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's the point. This was when I had first gotten into the concept of manifestation, and I was listening to Abraham Hicks a lot. I think I was in my early 20s, maybe late teens. And one of the things that was suggested, and I don't remember where it was from, it was like, try to manifest $5, try to manifest a cup of coffee, try to manifest something small. So I had the intention on like a Monday or a Tuesday, I'm gonna manifest $5. If you can hear my boyfriend in the background playing video games, I apologize. So I set the intention, I'm gonna manifest $5. And then I didn't really think about it at all, because it's just $5. That's the point. It's just $5. It doesn't mean much to me. I'd be fine with it. I'd be fine without it. Like, does not matter. So that week I did a lot of like self-work, prioritizing things that made me happy, doing things that made me feel really good, trying not to get taken away with circumstances that I didn't like very much, which was not easy for me at the time, because this was really when I was trying to change how I was showing up in reality, and I was very pessimistic and I was very angry at this time. But I think that time period was when I was really working on shifting how I was deliberately showing up and just trying to be the best version of myself at any given moment. Wasn't always easy, but I got there. So then that following Friday, I'm talking to a customer, and my coworker comes up to interrupt me, which was another story. She comes up to me and she says, I have something for you, but I'm leaving, so I have to give it to you right now. And I said, okay, what is it? It was $5. So I look at her, I go, what's this for? Thank you. Why $5? She goes, oh, a few weeks ago, you loaned me $5 for lunch, and I owed it to you for a little while. So here you go. Here's your $5 back. And I looked at the customer. I remember looking right at her and going, this is gonna sound crazy, but I set out to manifest $5 in the beginning of the week, and I have it right now, and I'm so freaking excited. She looked at me like I had 10 heads, which is fine. I deliberately created the $5, so I was really excited. How did I, like, that's easy to come to anybody. Like, did I really manifest it? I think it really did attract it, because when you don't hold a ton of stock in something, when you are not overly like, oh, I have to have this thing, or my life is gonna be terrible, or if I don't have this thing, like, I'm gonna be in debt. Like, $5 didn't mean anything to me. So there was zero resistance to it. So there were a million different ways that $5 could have come to me, and the universe aligned me with the easiest way for it to make sense to come into my reality, which was a coworker having owed me $5 that I had totally forgotten about. There have been so many times that I have deliberately created things because I don't pay so much attention to if it's here yet. So the things that you want to create, if you are constantly checking for them, it's going to make it really hard to come in, because when you check for them all the time and they're not there, you're like, oh, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, it's not here yet. And that's what you're constantly broadcasting to the universe. So you don't want to do that. In the case of me consciously creating $5, which again, not a crazy amount. I've done it with higher amounts since then, but in that moment, $5, I said it, I forgot about it, it didn't matter. So it was very, very easy for it to pop in. And when I think about things that I've created, anything that I've like kind of set it and forget it, you've probably heard that terminology before. To think about something, focus on it, think about how good it'll feel, get in the feeling state, and then totally forget about it. That works really, really well. But it's gonna work with things that don't mean so much to you, like $5. So that's how I easily manifested $5 for the first time. And I like to go back to that story a lot, because it reminds me the things that I don't hold so much importance in are the things that are gonna most easily come into my reality. You are just getting started with the idea of creating your reality, creating things from nothing or creating things with your mindset, start with something small. Start with a cup of coffee. Start with $5. Start with $10. Start with something that you're not going to constantly be looking for, because that's how you are going to give yourself the most opportunity for it to come in, because you're not going to be constantly like, is it here? Is it here? Is it here? Why is it not here? Because it's not going to matter. And it's those little things that you can test or play around with, so then you can get in the mindset of like, oh, I am creating this. I am doing this. I am in charge for all intents and purposes. And if you listen to Abraham Hicks at all, you've heard them say, if you can create, like the energy to create a button is the same energy that it would take to create a mansion. But it's a lot easier for us to create a button because we don't hold any worry or any, like, it doesn't matter to us if we have a button or not. So it's very easy for the universe to just grant you the button when you ask for it. You're like, oh, a button would be really cool right now. And then boom, there it is. Whereas with a mansion, there's so much that comes up in like your mindset and your programming where you're like, how would it come in? Where would the money come from? I don't have a rich uncle that's just gonna leave me a mansion. You don't have to have a rich uncle that's gonna leave you a mansion. You don't have to worry about where the money's coming from. You need to get in the feeling state of that is possible. That is something that you are experiencing right now. And it really doesn't, when you stop pushing against it, or pushing so hard that it's not here, or pushing so hard that it would be really hard to get, the universe opens up all the doors for you to get the thing. But there's a lot of beliefs that we have that are rooted in like our childhood, or things that we heard growing up, or things that we saw on the TV growing up that programmed us to think that things are really hard and we have to work really, really hard to get everything that we want, where the hard work is actually like the opposite of what you want to do. Like when you feel like you're trying to force something, the likelihood of it coming in is really, really hard. Like when you are in the early stages of dating, I love using this analogy. Like if someone was always asking you where you were or what you were doing, or trying to like, they were like up your ass all the time, you'd be like, get away from me. You'd be repelling them. That's what we do when we constantly check and ask, why is the money not here? Why aren't the clients, like, why is it not here? Because you're putting yourself in that, like, pushing so hard on the, it's not here, why is it not here? But even when you're like, why is it not here? You are putting the frequency and the focus and the belief of it's not here yet. And then you keep getting that reflected back to you. The money is just energy. The mansion, it's just energy. The button is just energy. So now we're working on closing that gap of believing it's possible and allowing it to come in, and not letting old things that we've thought about for years or months or whatever stop us from doing that. Just remember, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. The best thing to do to align with it is to get in the feeling state that would make you feel as if you had it. Because we're all just looking for something that's going to make us feel better. Because we think once we have it, our lives will be complete, even though we're always going to want more things. And I find that the things that come in the fastest are the ones that you're like, oh, that would just be fun if I had it, like $5. Doesn't mean anything if you get it or not. So it's a great thing to practice with. So go out there and work on manifesting your $5, and then come back and tell me how you did it. Tell me how long it took. Tell me what beliefs you have about manifesting $5. Go do it. Go try to manifest $5 right now. Take the weekend and then come back and tell me how it worked.